Will return to classes in September. Thomas Degla looks at the plan.
So much for carefree summer fun, when even in July the talk is all about back to school, and not to mention that virus.
Everybody's kind of nervous about sending the kids back.
I don't want to go to school because I don't feel safe.
For kids in Ontario, the countdown to the classroom has now begun, with elementary students going back for full-time in-person learning in September.
You know it's the best thing, but it's almost like a dark cloud hanging over it.
Premier Doug Ford and his government gave a first taste of what to expect.
You can drop your child off at school, knowing that every possible measure is being taken to keep our children safe.
Students are to be kept at least 1 meter apart. Children split into groups known as class cohorts to limit exposure. There will be money for extra cleaning and more staff, and parents will be allowed to keep kids at home if they choose. The plan leaves teachers doubtful.
We have some classrooms with 30 students, and to say 1 meter apart, that doesn't work.
Grocery stores, bars, and gyms in this province have more safety protocols in place than our classrooms will come September.
As of grade 9, it gets more complicated, with many secondary schools splitting time between in-class instruction and virtual learning, and everyone required to self-monitor for COVID-19 symptoms.
The worst fear is that there will be this sudden spike and a lot of things happening at once. Flu season, COVID-19 starts to pop up in surveillance, and then kids start to get sick.
Students grade 3 and under won't have to wear a mask. The older ones will, but some may opt out altogether.
I'd rather be safe than sorry, so if you don't want to go, don't go.
Families have about a month to decide, and plenty can change in the meantime. Thomas Degla, CBC News, Toronto.
Manitoba also released its back-to-school plan today, saying all students will return starting September the 8th. Students in kindergarten through grade 8 will be in class full-time. High school students may do some remote learning if that's the only way to ensure physical distancing. The province will use risk levels to decide when and if that should change. Masks won't be required, but they will be allowed. While Ontario enjoys a lull in the rate of new cases and Quebec's numbers remain relatively stable, the growth in new infections has been trending west. In June, the share of daily new cases coming out of Western Canada, so we're talking BC, Alberta, and the Prairies, was about 5%, with the other 95% coming out of Central Canada, so Ontario and Quebec. Now, nearly 40% of Canada's new COVID-19 cases come from the West. And Briar Stewart shows us that in BC, some of those cases can be traced back to people who took liberties with a virus, just waiting for a chance to mingle.
A sweltering day along Kelowna's waterfront. This weekend it will be much busier, along with its many patios. Good for a community that depends on tourism, but concerning because of the growing number of COVID-19 cases.
You're healthy and happy and you're coming to visit, I think it's okay. And if not, then stay home.
As long as everyone's practicing safe social distancing and being safe.